The time is just gone 16 minutes past 9 is we continue with the broadcast this morning, and due to the fact that we gave Amma Bungani the right of reply, we've had no news this morning, but we will continue with the rest of the broadcast still to come. We've got our weekly Jummah Inspirations coming through, and we're also talking about the truth behind leaving Christian Zionism, and we are talking with a Christian history teacher this morning. And towards the end of the program, there is a ladies' Kira Jalsa, ladies only event, the South African National Muslim Women's Forum will be hosting that, and we will be talking with their spokesperson and CEO, the MD Shamshad Sayed, right towards the end of the broadcast. But right now, we're going across to be joined by the Jamiatul Ulama KwaZulu-Natal from the Project Help Division. We are talking with our respected, our Honorable Moulana Ridwaan Bhayat for the Jummah Nasiha this morning. Moulana, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome and Jazakallah khairan so much for your time.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Jazakallah, Brother Inayat, for hosting and for having me on your program today.
Yes, Moulana, always looking forward to the wonderful nasiha, the words of wisdom, the inspiration, alhamdulillah, that we get on this beautiful, this wonderful, this blessed day of Jummah, alhamdulillah. So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, the platform is all yours.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. نحمده ونصلي وسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. If you look at the Quran Sharif and in the ahadith of Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam, then there is guidance for us to line every word and every letter of the Quran Kareem. The Quran Sharif is a book of guidance which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed for us so that we may be rightly guided. And the explanation of the Quran Kareem is in the hadith of Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam. And if you look at the many ahadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you will find there were a few hadiths which were known as Jamiatul Kalim, which were concise in the speech, however they were voluminous in their meanings. Meaning it was a few words, but the meaning behind it was so deep that volumes of kitabs can be written on them as well. On one occasion, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had asked the Sahaba radiallahu anhum that, "Oh my Sahaba, who will take from me 5 things, and he will practice upon it, and he will in turn teach it to others as well?" So Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was in that group of Sahaba, and immediately he was the first person to say, "O Nabi of Allah, I will take these advices." So again, just to digress a bit, it is a lesson for you and I as well, that when it comes to matters of deen, let us always be in the forefront. Whether it be a call for charity, whether it be a program that is taking place, let us be at the forefront of all these great aspects of deen. Why? Because in this is nur, in this is khair, and in this is goodness for us, our families as well. So Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they had presented themselves for matters of deen. They were always in the forefront. And we also need to do the same. And together with that, we need to educate our families as well. That what we learn in the masjid, or what we learn from a program, what we learn from a talk of deen, let us go home. Let us share that knowledge with our wives, our families, our children, our parents. Why? Because in that we are also part of those people who are teaching deen to others as well. And it's great reward for that. So we should also be part and parcel of this. So nevertheless, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked, who will take these 5 advices? And really, these advices are so deep, respected listeners, that if we practice upon it, then inshallah, our deen, our dunya will be sorted out. And our akhirat as well will be sorted out. So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says to Abu Hurairah that the first advice, ittaqil maharim takun a'bad an-nas. This word of ibadat, we are all familiar with it. Everyone knows the word ibadat. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Qur'an, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. That I did not create man and jinn just for anything. Rather, we created you so that you may worship us as well. So that you will worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ibadat is something that we should always excel in. That every day we should try to increase our ibadat towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just as how a person has a shop, has a business, then with the passing of every day, he wants to make his business better. He wants a greater turnover. He wants to make more profit as well. More importantly, we should have this attitude when it comes to ibadat as well. That every day Am I getting closer to my Allah, or am I moving further away from it, Allah? We should ask ourselves this question. So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that the foundation of ibadat and the principle of ibadat is to refrain from what prohibited you would, and you will be the greatest worshipper. So that which Allah has prohibited you from doing, stay away from that. You will be regarded as the greatest worshipper. Why? Because to speak lies, this is haram. To consume something which is inappropriate, it is haram. To miss one's salah, this is also haram. And to delay in the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is also not permissible. That now when Hajj comes, if a person has the funds, he should go forward for Hajj. When the month of Ramadan comes, he should fast. He should not delay in the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you look at Sahaba, then they were extremely careful when it came to staying away from that which Allah has prohibited. On one occasion, Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu, he was the Khalifa at that time, and he ascends the pulpit and he ascends the mimbar, and he calls out and he gathers the people, and he calls out to the people and he makes an announcement and he says to them that, oh people, listen, if you see that Umar has moved away from the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what will you do? And everyone silent. He gives the same announcement again the second time. He says, oh people, if you see that Umar has moved away, what will you all do? Again, everyone is silent. And on the third time, he makes the same announcement that if you see Umar moving away from the path, what will you do? Then a youngster, he gets up and he pulls out his sword and he says, oh Amirul Mu'mineen, the sword will decide what to do. And when Umar radiallahu anhu saw this, he became extremely happy and pleased that in my midst, in my company, there are such people who will ensure that I am always on the path of righteousness, that I am always on the path of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this was the first advice that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam had given to Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. And the second advice Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam gives to him, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam says to him that warda bima qasam Allahu lak takun aghna an-nas. But be content with what Allah has. You will be the wealthiest person. You will be the wealthiest person. In the hadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentions, Innal ghina, ghina nafs. That true wealth is the wealth of the heart, which is contentment of heart. That is the true wealth. If you look at a person, if you look at a person who gets any materialistic things in this world, he gets a car, he gets a house, he gets a job, etc. Everything he gets. And you ask him, what was the purpose of this? He says, no, I wanted happiness. I wanted happiness. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us that true happiness lies in contentment of heart. A free person is a slave without contentment. And a slave is free with contentment. This teaches us a lesson that if you want to be happy, if you want to be content, then always be with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your favor as well. And a person who is content, he is never jealous. He doesn't have this quality of jealousy within him. Why? Because he is happy with the decree of Allah in his favor. If my brother has more than I, then I'm happy for my brother. I'm happy in the way Allah has kept me. And this is the beauty of our deen. And when a person has contentment, he automatically becomes grateful. He automatically has the quality of shukr. He is always a shukrdar person, always thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all that Allah has given him. And this is the beauty of our deen. And this is something that we should always aspire to get this quality of contentment. Remember, if a person wants contentment, he should never look at those in the dunya who are above him. He should always look at those who are below him in the dunya. One great book, on one occasion, he saw a person wearing shoes. So he had no shoes. So he said, no, I'm going to the masjid and I'm going to make dua to Allah. That, oh Allah, I want shoes. Oh Allah, give me shoes. And on his way to the masjid, he sees a person with no legs. He says, oh Allah, for you, I'm grateful that you've given me legs to walk. From here you understand this quality of being shukr dar and being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And really, respected friends and elders, if we have to analyze how grateful Allah is, that despite us being disobedient to Him, despite us sinning against Him, yet He still gives us a hot plate of food to eat every day. He still gives us a bed to sleep in. He still gives us a roof to cover us. So we should always be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and always be content with that which Allah has given us. And the third lesson that Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was given by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was وَأَحْسِنْ إِلَى جَارِكَ تَكُنْ مُؤْمِنًا. That be good to your neighbor, you will be a true believer. Be good to your neighbor, you will be a true believer. Now a neighbor can be a Muslim, he can be a non-Muslim, he can be someone who was good to us or someone who was bad to us. But the command of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is always be good to your neighbor. Do not harm him. Do not hurt him. You be the better person and you portray that good akhlaq and character. A major portion of our deen is to do with relationships. One is obviously the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, huququllah. That is our salah, our zakat, our hajj, our fasting. These are the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is most important as well. And together with that, we have something known as huququl ibad, the rights of the servants as well. And this is something which many a time you and I slip up. We make mistakes. We hurt people. We abuse people. The famous hadith of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, the ulama say that this hadith displays the most unfortunate person on the day of Qiyamah. He will come with mountains of rewards, mountains of hajj, mountains of zakat, mountains of salah, mountains of charity, everything he has done the best. And he will come before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thinking that now this person is going to go into Jannah. Yet due to him compromising his relationship with people, he has compromised his relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a result, Allah won't want anything to do with this person until everything is sorted out, until his account is cleared. And what will happen? There will be a line of people that will be claiming against that, listen, oh Allah, this person had hit me. This person had shouted me. This person had abused me. This person had usurped my wealth. As a result, now all his good deeds will be going to all those people who he had hurt. And there will still be a line of people coming and there will be no more good deeds. The evil deeds of those people will be on his shoulders. As a result, from the mountains of good deeds, it will become mountains of evil deeds and he will be flung in the fire of Jahannam. And this teaches us a lesson that we need to always remember huququllah and huququl ibad. The way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam behaved with his enemies, he always portrayed the best akhlaq to such an extent that even the enemies of Islam could not have anything bad to say against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the fourth lesson that Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was given by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam was ahibba linnas ma tuhibbu li nafsik takun musliman. That love for others what you love for yourself, you will be a true mu'min, you will be a believer. Now many a times you will find that we are guilty of hurting people, we are guilty of cheating people, we are guilty of robbing people, we are guilty of mocking people, of ridiculing people, of embarrassing people. Now ask ourselves the question, would we have liked it if we were on the receiving end? Would we have liked it if people treated us like this? Obviously not. From here you understand that we all love that people should respect us. People should not look down upon us. People should not mock us. If we make a mistake, they should not run us down. They should guide us. They should help us. This is what we all love. And similarly from this hadith you learn that love for others, what you love for yourself, you will be a true mu'min. And we should reach the same for others as well. Now these advices, respected friends, wallahi, they take such a lesson behind each one of these advices. Our dunya is sorted out and our akhirah is sorted out. And the last advice that Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was given by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was, وَلَا تُكْثِرِ الضِّحْكَ فَإِنَّ كَثْرَةَ الضِّحْكِ تُمِيتُ الْقَلْبِ. That do not laugh excessively. Do not laugh excessively. Now this hadith doesn't mean that a person shouldn't laugh. He should laugh, he should have a joke here and there, but he should not laugh excessively. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam would engage the Sahaba in light-hearted talks. There is a book, there is a chapter in the books of Hadith on the light-heartedness of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam cautioning each one of us that do not overdo it. Do not laugh excessively. Why? Because by laughing excessively, it kills the heart. And this heart is referring to the spiritual heart of a believer. And what happens when the heart dies? Then you will find that when he makes the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no feeling behind it. When he reads Qur'an, it is feelingless. There is no motivation behind the Qur'an al-Kareem. He reads Salah, just a mechanical Salah. The heart is completely dead due to him laughing excessively. And the ulama explain that when a person laughs excessively, then he becomes oblivious of his objective in the dunya. And this dunya is a place of test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us at each moment of our lives. We should always be remembering that. If a person understands that he's in examination, then he will always be at his best behavior. He will always try his best to excel in those exams. And similarly, by us laughing all the time, we become oblivious of that. And as a result, we lose out on the spiritual blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for us. And laughter, the ulama say, is like salt in the food. That every food, that you have to put some salt in it. It gives flavor to it. But too much of the salt will spoil the food. As a result, too much of laughter will spoil the heart. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really grant each one of us the ability to imbibe and practice on these 5 advices that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had given to Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Let us practice upon it and let us teach it to others as well, so that our dunya can be made, their dunya can be made, and our Jannah can be made, and Jannah can be made. May Allah ta'ala grant each one of us tawfiq and ability to make amal, inshallah.
Ameen, summa ameen. Jazakallah khairan so much, Moulana, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Allah accept your efforts as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Moulana Ridwaan Bhayat was the Nasiha this morning, and with that, we're going to go for a quick break. We come back, we'll be joined by Income Miseli, Pamela Ngubani, and we're talking about the truth behind her leaving Christian Zionism. She is a Christian and a history teacher.
Rejuvenating Media